And welcome to Kerbal Space Program with Dan Bear Pig. Just taking care of the social media posts here real quick. There we go. All right. Let's jump right into it. There are no changes to the mods from last week, so I'm not going to go over those. Let's just start the game and pick up exactly right where we left off last week. There it is. So we still have the Kraken grabbing onto the flights with Jebediah, Bob, and Valentina. So their fates are still yet to be determined. Let's take a look at the tracking station for that. I think I know what to do to fix the save file so that I can recover them. And don't worry, I'm going to be doing lots of backups as I mess with that. It's still tracking their flights, but if I try to actually load them, there's nothing there. So, Moonshot 2.2, that's what has Jebediah Kerman on board, and he's got our original Minmus science, and he'll be at Solar Periapsis. I guess it's not Solar because that's not Sol. Kerbal Periapsis in about 61 days. Although Kerbin itself will be about here. In theory, if we had fuel, I could adjust his orbit, and we could get an encounter, but it's not going to happen on this one. And then we have a couple of years for the rescue craft that has Valentina. So in about 1 year and a half, she will be arriving at this maneuver node and making a course adjustment to get an encounter with Kerbin. And that will happen in a little bit over 2 years. So we've got some time, and I'm going to be figuring out how to fix those craft. And in the worst case scenario, what I'll need to do is edit them home and edit a new craft into that area that doesn't have any fuel. And then we'll do some rescues. So we'll figure it out. In the meantime, if we head right to Rescue 2 and fly this ship, this will put us exactly where we left off at the end of the last stream last week. We ran out of fuel for our new reusable lander craft, which is full of new science from the surface of Minmus. Currently eating, says Raider, so no sound again. Let me chat here. No worries, Raider. Sit back and enjoy the space flight and your food. Okay. So, but we used our rescue craft for a legit rescue of our own Kerbals, and we've picked them up. They've docked. This thing flies really, really nicely, so I'm very pleased with the performance of this thing. It was me being a little bit too ambitious and not very efficient with my plane change transfer after rescuing Henry Daniels that caused this issue. So let's take a look at the map. Yeah, we are out here because this is where we had Henry Daniels in an inclined orbit about here, and we did a rescue of him after picking up the science. So we need to bring them back to the space station. And I just did that the wrong way. We're going eastward, so counterclockwise. So we need to bring them back to Station 1. And let's see, we are already in the correct plane. So, let's see. We actually have a decent encounter already, so it'll probably be Intersect 2 that we'll end up using. Let's take a look at these. And where should we do our burn? That is the question. I think what we need to do is, at Periapsis, add a maneuver, and add an orbit to it, so we don't do it immediately. That's 2 orbits. Okay, 2 orbits brings us into a pretty good area. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. Let's see what happens when we burn retrograde. And it has unpinned these. Okay, so we're bringing that target position around. So what we need to do is bring it very close to where we will have our intersect. Which is right there. Let's zoom in. And let's pin that again. So yeah, we've got... Oh yeah, that's how I unpinned it, because everything's so close together and I had to right-click this. So 35 kilometers, and we should be able to bring that very close. Yeah, there's 3 kilometers, 1 kilometer. And now we are losing it. Okay, so let's do that. So that's a 234 meter per second delta V maneuver, and that will come up in 4.5 hours. So let's go ahead and time warp and get close to that. And I do not want to pass it. We go 1 orbit and then a 2nd orbit. Alright, here we come on this maneuver. Here it comes. Do we have another orbit? Okay, looks like we have 1 more orbit. Alright, we're about 6 minutes away. When we get to about 2 minutes away, I'll make sure that we're pointed at the node. There we go. And we've got a very qualified pilot now, so let's go here and see how this is doing. We're not using our RCS. We have very limited RCS fuel. Hopefully we'll be able to unlock bigger RCS tanks so that we can have a more efficient refueling mission. Because this has been pretty rough having to use tons of these tiny tanks and just spamming them everywhere. But yeah, we've got a very qualified pilot, so maneuvering this towards this is very easy. In fact, the only thing he can't do is automatically hold that maneuver. But that is okay. Alright, we're going to be watching our separation at approach. And that's a 34-second burn at full thrust. We won't quite be using full thrust. So at maybe about 30 seconds to the node, I'll go to about 50% thrust. Hey, Satan, welcome to the stream. All is well. We're picking up exactly where we left off last week, having picked up this reusable lander that burned all its fuel trying to get back from rescuing Henry Daniels. And so now we're going to bring it back. We've got our maneuver set up, and we're going to bring it back to dock with the station and bring home our science experiments and see if we can unlock any new technology. Alright, so yeah, we're burning at about 50% thrust here, and I'm actually gonna... Oh, had a little bit of a lag spike there, that's alright. I'm gonna throttle up just a little bit more. Oh, let's deactivate this engine. Shut down engine. We don't want that burning our fuel. That is working against us. Okay. There, that's better. We just want to use these engines here. Oh, maybe, actually, no, because... Whoops. Let's get out of the cockpit view. That was actually helping us hold attitude, believe it or not. Yeah, we are very much off-center, and gimbaling is helping, but it looks like it's not helping quite enough. Let's see if we can hold this. Yeah, that's interesting. This was actually helping us hold attitude. That's kind of hilarious, actually. Is this actually working? Let's make sure that we are controlling from here. We were not. Oh. Okay, yeah, it kept our control from here. That's not ideal, but we have enough delta V that we can make this work. Let's turn the throttle back up. Yeah, this is suddenly very difficult to control. Let's go ahead and activate that engine after all, because it was actually helping us hold attitude. And we have a whole lot more liquid fuel and oxidizer than we do RCS fuel, so using that as an attitude jet is actually working very well. And yeah, so our separation at approach doesn't appear to be changing up here. What is actually happening with our orbit? Okay, it is coming downwards. Okay, yeah, this is actually showing us this separation at approach, so it's not showing us our second one. What is... Why can I not shut this down? There we go. There we go. Yeah, this thing is behaving a little bit oddly, and I don't think it's just this. I think the game is struggling just a little bit here. Alright. And just gently for the last bit. Okay, there's our maneuver within 1 meter per second. That's pretty good. So now... This is not showing me what it predicted. So what is the issue here? Okay, we've lost a little bit of our relative inclination. Let's see what this says here and what this says. And if we do another burn at periapsis, in fact, let's just point retrograde. And I wonder if having the control set to the wrong part was messing with the maneuver. We still have 3 kilometers per second delta V, so I'm not worried yet. Okay, and that is taking us apart. So let's add a maneuver at our descending node, and we'll have a little bit of a normal element to this, so that we can let's pin that, so that we can fix our inclination. And let's bring the ascending node right to our periapsis. That's really touchy. There we go. That's perfect right there. Okay, that's 21 meters per second. Let's just do that maneuver on its own. And I'll have our pilot, Eric Uspensky. That's who's on board, right? Philip Brewer and Eric Uspensky. Okay, yeah, Eric. We have 2 pilots aboard, but Eric is the one doing the actual flying this mission. And so he is going to point us towards our normal. We'll just warp to the node and change our inclination. And let's actually just kill that, and let's watch our relative inclination change up here. Just gently. Okay, that is about as perfect as it can get. So let's now, this is the orbit we're aiming for, so let's go right about here. And let's do a radial out. So here's our 2 intersects, and let's see how we can fix this. Just like that. But if we do this 1 orbit later, what does that look like? Not good. Alright, so let's move this then. Yeah, doing a little bit of trial and error here. And I think we need to do a little bit of prograde as well. Yeah, that is helping as well. Okay, yeah, so as long as this is bringing the separation down, and that's too much prograde now. $288 kilometers. Yeah, we're basically pivoting the orbit around this point. And that's what you do with the radial in and radial out. That pivots it. Normal and anti-normal changes the inclination. And prograde and retrograde move the altitude of the opposite end of the orbit. Okay, so that's within 100 kilometers. So if we keep going here and a little bit retrograde, 64 kilometers. And that's 18 kilometers, so this is really good. Looks like this can get us about 15, and then a little bit retrograde. This is not the most exciting part of it, but it is absolutely necessary. Alright, 5.5 kilometers is going to be pretty good, and then once we get there, and that is in 17 minutes, then we'll be able to maneuver relative to our target and get in really close. So, yeah, so here is our current orbit, and burning radial out basically changes our trajectory here upwards, and so now this pivots our orbit this way. And that gets us a really good encounter right over there. And that is orbital mechanics without math. All right, and so now let's go ahead and point radial out, and that will take us essentially to the maneuver. Because this is almost entirely a radial out maneuver, with just a little bit of, I think, retrograde element to it. Alright, now we're going to change to stability assist so I can just follow the maneuver marker, and let's get burning. Yeah, and we're still struggling to hold attitude with this with our passenger. A little bit unconventional maneuvering here. But it's working, so I'm gonna take it. Alright, we're halfway through the maneuver. And yeah, our separation at approach is changing. Let's kill the engines and let's do just gently at the end here for the last little bit of the maneuver. At very low thrust. The lower thrust I have, the more precision I have. Okay, and that's pretty good, within half of a meter per second. So our separation at approach is going to be about 8 kilometers. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and warp close to the station and do our fine tune for our final approach. And here's the station behind us. It's coming up, catching up, and we're going to be descending down from above. Alright, we're about 5 minutes away from the station at this speed. So let's do this, and for the final approach, I think we're going to change this. So let's actually refuel this. And in fact, does this have? I forget if this has RCS thrusters. It does. Okay. And where are the RCS fuel tanks? They're in here, I believe. Let's open and see how much fuel we've got. Oh, plenty. Okay, so yeah, let's close this, and we will undock. Who's aboard? Eric is aboard. That's why we were controlling from here. Okay, that's interesting. All right, we're going to dock these craft separately though. So let's go ahead and do that now. Undock. And let's switch to this craft here. And our target will be Station 1. Let's look at the target, 20 kilometers away. Turn on SAS. We have plenty of reaction wheels as well, so we don't have to use just RCS for this. Let's turn it on though so that we can start slowing down relative to the target. We'll lock the camera so that we can do some accurate maneuvering there. Okay, we're just maneuvering clear of this ship here because we do not want a collision. And we're slowing down. We're leaving that ship behind. We do actually have a tiny bit of fuel, so... Okay, so our separation at approach, 7.5 kilometers. Let's point retrograde, turn off the RCS for this. There we go. Alright, and now let's use our thrusters to do some slowing down. There we go. And that is all of our liquid fuel and oxidizer. RCS back on. Yeah, as we slow down, we're also tightening up our approach. I am pushing the retrograde marker towards the target. And it looks like we will be fine. We're not using RCS fuel very fast. These are very low power thrusters. Hopefully they are enough. We're coming up quickly. Yeah, our separation is still pretty fast. Or our relative velocity. Yeah, I don't think these are going to be enough. Uh-oh. Yeah, we are passing the target. Let's go ahead and speed this up just a little bit. Hey Raider, welcome back. It looks like these tiny RCS thrusters are not enough for me to get a good encounter with this station. So let's... I should have refueled this from the other thing, so that's what I should have done. Let's go ahead and switch craft. And let's see what we can get out of this. Okay, so look at the target. Yeah, let's aim towards the target and turn on our engines here. Control from here. Okay, yeah, we want to point retrograde to the target because we're going too fast. We want to speed up. How much RCS fuel do we have? We have enough for the docking, for sure. Let's go ahead and turn these on. Use our gimbal to our advantage. Yeah, we have a lot more brute force with this ship here. That will bring us within 485... Nope, that's not correct. We still need to actually switch direction here. There we go. Let's get all the derps out of the way now, because we really want to bring home some science experiments. So since I'm pointing towards the target, I pull the prograde vector towards where I'm pointing, and that is how I am tightening up this approach now. There we go. But as we move around the planet, it's going to drift. Okay, so this will bring us within 10 kilometers. Let's point retrograde now. And then I'm going to be pushing the retrograde marker. And that lines up with the retrograde target marker, which means we're going to be coming in pretty close. And slow, which is what we want. Except this is getting really, really touchy. This is a lesson in the least efficient way to do an encounter. Okay, I'm going to be looking at my separation at approach. And now that's started going up again, so let's just get to our close approach. There we go. Yep, and once we get in 2.3 kilometers, it's in physics loading range, and so that's what that stutter was there. It was loading in the actual parts so that now both ships are loaded. Okay, and slowing down, and that brings us within 500 meters. Which is close enough for our final approach. So now we're going to kill our velocity entirely relative to the station, and switch control to the docking port. And then we will be coming in for docking. There we go. Now our approach is 200 meters. So where's the docking port? There it is. Let's control from here and point towards the station. And then let's switch to the station and choose the rescue ship as our target. And we want to point this, so control from here. And let's point that docking port directly towards the ship. There we go. And switching back. Now, can I click on that? Nope, not close enough. Okay, good. We are still controlling from there. Now we need our RCS thrusters. Alright, this is the tricky thinking part of this maneuver. I don't know why the RCS thruster animation is permanently on while in time warp, but it is not actually using the thrusters, so I'm not going to worry too hard about it. Alright, is this already set as a target? I think it is. Okay, perfect. And you can see the escape pods that we brought up last week. Nicely docked on the side there. Alright, let's adjust our relative trajectories. There we go. Alright, we're 20 meters away. It's about time to slow down. And here we come for the final docking approach. Oh, come on, you can do it. You can do it. There we go. We are docked. All right. So now let's take a look at this, our reusable moon lander, and let's see what we can do with this. Let's see if we can get a really efficient approach, because this thing cannot land, it cannot re-enter Kerbin's atmosphere safely, and it definitely cannot land safely. So our target is still Station 1. Let's see. And here's the station. And here is the intersect. Okay. So here, if we do... That will not help, but let's do radial out. Nope, that is no good. Let's do radial in. Yeah, I'm not sure that we have that much delta V at our disposal. It doesn't tell us how much we have using the RCS jets, but I don't think it's that much. So let's add a fresh maneuver here. Let's add an orbit to it. Okay, 7 orbits, and we will get really close. And this time we do radial out to get close. Okay. Okay, 7.2 kilometers is pretty good. And we'll be going a lot slower than we were last time. Can I get that any tighter? Oops, no, I didn't want to do that. Seven kilometers. 6. That's 4.5. That's pretty good. Oh, too far. I should really learn the math behind this. That would make this a lot more reliable. But it would also require learning math. Okay, I'm just making it worse now. So let's go here. Let's change that to 0. That to 0. Okay, and that is pretty good. And it's only 5.8 meters per second. It thinks I can't do that because I don't have any actual liquid fuel and oxidizer, but I'm going to be doing this with my RCS fuel. So, and that is in 5 hours. Let's go ahead and time warp. Don't worry, Eric, you're coming home. And hopefully bringing a whole lot of science data with you. Not his main job, but he performed like a champion on Minmus. Alright, so with our main engine, this would be a 5-second burn, but with our wimpy little RCS jets, it's going to be more than that. So I'm going to start burning about 1.5 minutes before the node. Maybe just a minute, because it's only 5.8 meters per second, so we were moving faster than that, so... Alright. Let's do this. Let's turn the RCS off for just changing our attitude. There we go. Alright, and let's do this. Oh yeah, we can do this. In fact, we can get closer. Here we go. Now we've got an efficient maneuver. And with such low thrust, we can be really precise about it too. There we go. Dead on. Okay, so now our separation at approach is 5 kilometers, and our relative speed 94 meters per second. That's the big issue there, is being able to kill that relative speed. So let's get closer to the station and see if we can do this without overshooting this time. Here it comes. 9 minutes. Okay, so maybe about 4 minutes out, I'll start burning and see if that's enough. Our relative speed is only going to be 70 meters per second according to this. Does that change? Nope. Okay. Alright, now we're pointed relative to the target. So let's see, if I burn on this side of it, will that improve our separation or make it worse? Oh, let's turn on the RCS. There we go. That makes it a little bit worse, so let's go on this side. Oh, that also is making it worse. Well, that's annoying. Alright, let's get closer. Yeah, let's point retrograde to the target. I think that's the issue. There we go. That is much better. And let's go ahead and speed this up with physics warp so we don't have to actually sit through the entirety of this burn in real time, because this is a slow burn. Really slow with these tiny thrusters. Yeah, in fact, this is going to be a close one. Okay, now that's getting worse, actually. Let's slow that down. There we go. Yeah, we've bled off about 1/3 of the speed at approach, so that's good. And we are doing fine with our fuel. These things burn fuel so slowly. Alright, yeah, and we are once again tightening our approach. Less than 5 kilometers now. Alright, now I can speed this up a little bit again. Yeah, so these are the crucial numbers here, our separation at approach and our relative speed at approach. And as long as both of those are coming down, we are doing this right. You know, I'm going to take a sip of my drink here. We've got Eric at the controls. We can trust him. He's been a champion pilot. Better than Jeb, it seems. Jeb got himself stuck. It definitely wasn't me. Alright, this continues to look good. We are within 4 kilometers now, and our relative speed is only 20 meters per second, so let's go ahead and get closer. Use regular time warp here. And yeah, we still have a little bit more than half of our RCS fuel left, so this is looking really good. And better for this slow burn here than to have to lose another Kerbal and replace another Kerbal. Especially when we're so limited on our pilot choices, and he is our most qualified pilot that we have available. Alright, once again, let's get closer. 30 seconds out. All right, and now I'm going to do more to change our relative inclination than I am slowing down, because we're doing very well on the slowing down. We need to get closer. Okay, that's 3.3 kilometers. That's really good. Three. We are burning through our fuel, but I still think we'll have enough. 2 kilometers. All right, let's get closer again. We are almost there, guys. We're almost there. There we go. Had a little bit of a stutter there. That was it's coming into physics range again. All right, now let's point retrograde again and slow down. Yeah, getting a little bit framey here. There are a lot of parts loaded. Okay. Yeah, we're down to about 15 units of monopropellant out of a total of 45. That's pretty close, but we're doing okay. Our ship is also getting lighter, so we have more and more control over it. Oh, come on, we're gonna pass it. But not very fast, so it's not actually an issue. Point retrograde, let's just kill our relative velocity and then point right towards the station and go in for a docking, because I really want to get this this science home. We're already 40 minutes into the stream and I want to do some research. Okay, 1 meter per second, that's pretty good. All right, let's look at the target. And let's burn straight towards that target. There we go. Yeah, less than a kilometer away now. We're almost there. 12.5 units of monopropellant left. Okay. Yeah, and I'm thinking hard here, so the talking is going to be a little bit more sparse. That's probably not an actual problem. Oh geez, this is gonna be a close. Gotta bring it in close. This is not working. We're gonna run out of fuel. Okay, that brings us about 400 meters away. And yeah, we're still drifting. Okay, that brings us within 300 meters. That's really good. Alright, we can really see the detail on the station now. Can we do it? We still have 10 units of monopropellant. I think we can. I still think we can. I'm still optimistic on this one. Okay, yeah, this brings us about 25 meters away. That's really good. And we still have 10 units of fuel. I think we can use that for our docking. Whew, okay, I was starting to sweat on this. Alright, we do need to come around. We need to choose one of the docking ports that is for the escape pods. And hopefully we're not going to have a collision here. Yeah, we're coming around, we're fine. And let's choose this docking port right here. Set as target. And let's change our camera to locked so that we can do some really accurate maneuvering here. All right, we're finally here. Come on, we're overshooting. There we go. There we go. No. Towards the target, towards the target. We have 8.5 units of fuel left. This is tighter than Neil Armstrong landing on the moon. Oh, man. All right. Okay, we're oriented properly. Let's bring this in. 7 units of fuel left. Slow it down. Okay, okay. We're doing this. Alright, 0.1 meters per second pointed right at the docking port. We've got this. Alright, I don't know if this was that impressive on the stream, but I sure feel like I've accomplished something here. There we go! We did it! We did it! Alright. So now, we need someone to take this science down to Kerbin. So let's see. We want a pilot back on the surface too. So Eric, you are our pilot. Let's go ahead and transfer you to an escape pod. And let's see if we can grab the science data as well. And I'm getting a text from my wife. Okay. Yeah, so she is at a birthday party for my stepdaughter, so yeah. I've got the house to myself right now. Alright, so let's see. I might need to, let's see, can I transfer the data this way? Review stored data. I think I need to EVA him. All hatches are obstructed. Oh, yeah, they are. Okay, so let's transfer him to this one because that hatch is not obstructed. Actually, let's just transfer him directly to here. Are you gonna transfer him? Come on, Kerbal. Transfer crew. He's not moving. Why can't I select this part? Kerbal Space Program. There we go. Okay, now he's there. All right, that one wasn't me. That was the game being Kerbal. All right, now let's EVA. And let's take the data. Oh, we didn't use that Mr. Goo. We only used this one. Okay, removing the experiment data will render this module inoperable. So this is a reusable lander, but it only has a limited use for some of its experiments. We will have upgrades. So yeah, remove data. And let's see, I think a scientist actually can restore that. A review stored data. Okay, he's got the mystery goo. Okay, let's keep that experiment. That's good. Now, what else do we have in here? We should have a thermometer, and we should have a barometer. But where are they? They are hiding. Okay, let's take the data from here as well. All right, let's just do that. That is good enough. Let's let go. Activate the jetpack. And this one, this is the one where he can get to the hatch. So that's where we're gonna go. That's a cool view though. All right, so yeah, Eric Uspensky is going to board this return capsule / escape pod and bring our science data home. He's the one that worked really hard to collect it. So he's the one who's going to bring it home to us. And maybe he'll even be the one that will get to fly the next upgrade of the ship. Although I do want more pilots, because we're going to have more ships. Almost there, Eric. And come on, you can grab it. Just board. Oh, grab. There we go. And board. Okay, Eric, you are aboard a return capsule. So let's, can I reach this docking port? I know I can. There we go. This one. This is the one I want. Let's aim the camera. And zoom right in. Yeah, this is being a little bit touchy on what I can select. Not pleasing to me. I would like to select this one. Or maybe it's this one. There we go. Okay, and undock. Alright, let's switch to this vessel. Turn the RCS and SAS on. And let's back off. Alright, we're in orbit reference. Good. Let's point retrograde. And let's fire forwards. Okay, here we go. Eric is coming home. Once again. And there's not a lot of monopropellant. I hope there's enough. That's the theme. Yeah, that's why I want to get... Yeah, this is plenty. Yep, we've got a capture into the atmosphere. Perfect. So 30 kilometers of periapsis, that will do. So let's go ahead and warp. Yeah, this is one of the reasons I want to unlock some new technology. I want bigger RCS tanks because I want to be able to store a whole lot more monopropellant without increasing the part count to a ridiculous amount on that station. Because we keep struggling with the RCS fuel, and I want that to stop. All right, we are in the atmosphere. and coming in hot. So once we get the re-entry effects, I will slow the game down to real time. There we go. And take a sip of my beer while he endures the heat and G-forces of re-entry. In a few hours, actually in a couple of hours, we should be having re-entry of the Inspiration 4 craft with the first all-civilian crew on a private mission, which is really exciting. I've been following that on Twitter, and I'm really jealous of the view that they're getting from the cupula. I'm never quite sure how to pronounce that. Cupola, cupula, cupola. All sorts of ways to pronounce that word. But we should be unlocking one of those pretty soon, actually. One more like the one on the space station. Alright. Now we're getting into the superior parts of the atmosphere and slowing down. Yep, we're over 1G now. Eric's having a good old time there. See, there are 5 stars available. I wonder what that what gets added when he gets all 5 stars, because I don't know. More G-force tolerance? Alright, yeah, he's at 2.5 Gs right now, and we are through the difficult part of this, so let's speed up the game until we're ready to deploy our parachutes. And we'll do that about 2 kilometers above the surface. We're 10 kilometers up right now. 6 kilometers, coming down at night, of course. 4 kilometers. Alright, slowing the game down. And let's go ahead and deploy the parachutes. And we're coming down on a bit of a slope, but it should be fine. This is a very stable craft. Let's turn off the SAS, though. Just let it hang underneath the parachutes. And now we have full deployment. And at long last, we are getting our science data back from Minmus. I'm not sure how much we have. We'll find out what this will unlock very soon. $500 meters to go. Let's take a look in the cockpit here. This is Eric's view. All right, 300 meters to go. $200 meters. $100 meters. All right, we're at 40 meters, so I'm going to start easing the game back to real time. All right, 10 meters up, and here we are with touchdown. Perfect. All right, Eric, let's bring you home. Of course, that's one more return capsule that I will need to replace. This station will get upgrades as technology improves, and eventually it will be sort of a ship of Theseus situation where it will be completely replaced with new parts. Oh, look at that. 415 science earned. Yeah, Minmus is rich in science. This is great. All right, let's see what that unlocks. Alright, we're going to start with advanced fuel systems because this is what I was just talking about. Huge RCS fuel tanks. Yeah, I think, let's see, what do I have so far? Flight control. Advanced flight control. Yeah, so these ones here, that holds 20 units of monopropellant. And is there another one that I have? I think there was another one. Yeah, and this one only holds 7.5, so 20 is the big one that I've got. But this gives me 750. This one is the same size 20, but it's a little bit different shape, so it's easier to use, and 120. So yeah, up to 750 units. That is perfect. We're going to take that. And then I really want to get to this 3-man capsule here, and there's the cupula right there. The cupula. I really need to look up the proper pronunciation. I've never heard any two people pronounce it the same way. So, and landing gives us some interesting stuff too. So there's an escape system, landing struts, bigger heat shields, but let's go to space exploration. This gives us some, oh, work lamp. That's cool. That's new. And on a stand. Nice. Ooh, and this gives us rover wheels. Do we have a rover body? Where's the rover body? Aerodynamics doesn't have it. Actuators doesn't have it. Those are all robot parts, plus our advanced grabbing units, the claw for grabbing things out of space. Advanced electrics. Advanced exploration. So where is the actual... Well, we've got this lander can, and we can use that for a rover. So yeah, let's pick this up. Space exploration. And we have 217 left, which means we can get this 3-man command pod, Mark III command pod. Excellent. Yeah, and there's another monopropellant tank that'll be useful later on. Okay, cool. This is a huge upgrade. This is really big. Let's see just how good this is. Who do we have available? I think everyone is actually on the station right now, or stranded in deep space, of course. Let's see. Let's take a look at this Mark III command pod. There it is. And here's the cupula right here, the cupula. Really great visibility offered by that. And crew. Okay, yeah, we actually have quite a few people. So yeah, we can do Eric, Lindsay, and Natalia, and then we've got a pilot, a scientist, and an engineer. So we can do a lot with this. So there's plenty more science to be gathered from the moon and from Minmus. And so that will unlock bigger fuel tanks and a few more big engines, so that will help us with our rescue of Jebediah, Val, and Bob once they finally come home. So let's go ahead and build something. Of course, we're going to start with this here. Do we have any other skin options? It looks like we don't. That's the only look for this, but it's okay. It looks really nice. And so utility, let's pop a parachute on top. And we haven't done the fireworks in a while. We might change that. Do I not have a big parachute? That's a shame. But I have these radial mount parachutes. So let's use some of those. Let's put a couple like that. I don't want to block these windows. That's their view out. That's their view forward. And then let's add a docking port right on the top. Just like that. Alright, so now this will be able to interface with the space station itself. Let's see, now we want payload. We've got this new 2.5 meter service bay. And look at all that space that we've got in there. Okay, let's put some science experiments in there. Science Junior fits inside that bay, which is fantastic. Let's put a thermometer on there. And a barometer. Let's just put those on the same side here. Let's put some batteries in. There we go. There we go, that looks good. Let's put 8 batteries in. And some, we want some monopropellant, but we don't need to necessarily keep that with us. In fact, we can just take some monopropellant up there and do the refueling from this thing here. So maybe we should dock it on the end here. Let's do that. I like that idea. I'm winging it at this point because this is new technology, so I didn't have an opportunity to mess with it between streams like I usually do. But let's see, here are the big RCS fuel tanks. Oh yeah, we've got one that holds 400 as well. Okay, so 750, and that is huge. Let's do a couple of these instead. And another docking port. Right on the end there. Yeah, we're going to be using this RCS fuel, and then we're going to be leaving this RCS fuel at the station. And in the meantime, this one that carries 20... That's the same as this. This thing itself doesn't need so much. We mostly need that huge capacity for the refueling. Let's see if I can attach this in a reasonable manner. There we go, I like that. Let's put 8 of those in there. Because we're also going to be landing this on the moon. More science experiments. We've got more. Let's do mystery goo. And let's do 2 of those. Where should I put them? No, we don't need 8 of them. Okay, that's going to block the view of these, so let's move these out of the way. These don't really have any weight, so it's not a worry about balance. Hey, Anna! Welcome to the stream. I just saw you in the chat. I hope you haven't been there too long without me acknowledging you. Yeah, we just unlocked some new technology, and I'm building a new lander that has 3 crew member slots, and we're going to be taking also this this huge monopropellant tank to the space station so that we can do more efficient refueling of our monopropellant. And already this is going to supersede our previous reusable lander after its 1 use. So, okay, we definitely want to be able to communicate back to Kerbin. So, let's put 1 of these on. Just joined, don't worry. Awesome. Thanks for joining. Okay, so yeah, this gives us this bigger service bay too, so look at all that we can fit in there. We definitely want some solar panels though, so let's add those on the outside. And let's rotate them this way. There we go. Let's do 4 of them on each side. Like that. There we go. That should be plenty of power generation to keep our batteries charged. And we still don't have very big landing legs. Let's see, do I have a big enough heat shield for this? This might be another one that doesn't return home. Yeah, the biggest heat shield is too small, so that's not going to provide very good protection. But that is okay. I can have a return capsule. Let's see, what else should we put on here? We've got our flag. Let's put, yeah, that's good for the flags. Let's put a flag on here, though. See, I want a, this is a 1.85 meter part, I think. So let's change the orientation and the size and make sure that wraps around properly. It does wrap around properly. So that's a little huge. There we go. That sits nicely. So everyone knows this is monopropellant provided by the Terran Empire. Okay, so we've got most of this. We need a propulsion system, though. And let's remove this for now because we want to be able to see what our stats here are on the moon. Let's get a nice-sized fuel tank. It's a little bit small. So is that. Do I have anything wider? There we go. That is perfect. And engines. Let's see about these outboard engines right here. They're a bit big. Let's see. For our return flight, how does this do? That gives us 1,800 meters per second. How does that work on the moon? Okay, so 1.3 thrust to weight ratio. That is plenty. Let's see if there's a better option, though. This will work, but let's see if there's a better option. That has... where was it? There it is. The Spark gives us 20 kilonewtons. This gives us 60, the Terrier. 345 ISP in a vacuum, and that one has 320. So that one's also more efficient. It's also heavier, though, so this will reduce our... it actually works right out. So that increases our delta V just a bit and gives us plenty of thrust. I don't know if Satan is still here. I think he left, but 6.66 maximum thrust to weight ratio in a vacuum, or on the moon rather. So that's something he'd appreciate there. All right, let's. So this will be our ascent engine. Hey, nice, says Anna. Yep. So let's get a 2.5 meter decoupler, and that's kind of gross. Yeah, that's not gonna... So I think what I want to do instead is the smaller decoupler. Even smaller. There we go. And let's do a fairing. Just to there. All right. And we want to not stage that fairing. And let's make it silver. No, I don't like that. We'll stick with the black and white. We'll stick with the Saturn texture there. All right, and let's see. Let's turn off the mouse over because that's getting really annoying. All right, so that is our ascent from the moon. Now we need a landing stage. So let's do another one of these fuel tanks here. And this time we will do the outboard engines. Let's do 4 of them. There we go. Now we've got a classic looking rocket. And this gives us 750 meters per second delta V on that stage, and a huge thrust to weight ratio. So in fact, that is a lot. What about one of these? That gives 16 kilonewtons, that gives 2. What about this? All right, that is actually significantly better. A lot lower thrust weight ratio, but we have a little bit more delta V, and it is enough of a thrust weight ratio. So ground, let's do our landing struts. There we go, and start retracted. Okay, there we have a lander. So this is very Apollo style here, in that we will land, and then we will leave this landing stage on the surface of the moon. And this is what will then ascend back into space. And it should have enough to get into space and back to the station. Otherwise, we can always bring our rescue craft again. Whoa! We only need one of those. And we want it docked. There we go. Perfect. All right, now coupling. Now let's get the big decoupler this time, and another fairing. Hey, King Kong, welcome to the stream. I am designing a new moonlander with new technology that was just unlocked. This one can seat 3 Kerbonauts. So I want a little bit of gap there, so let's go to structural and structural tube. Kung of the Kings, indeed. Alright. Alright, that gives a little bit of gap, which means I can place this fairing properly. There we go. Beautiful. Alright, so now we want to... Let's do, yeah, 3 sides is fine, and let's turn up that ejection force so that it actually clears the rocket. 600 is good. Turn it silver. Alright, so now we need a launch vehicle. And we've got one. Let's see. If I go here to our sub-assemblies, our medium launch vehicle should be plenty. And it's already got a fairing on it that we don't need. There we go, so let's just get rid of that. And how will this do? I think this will be enough. Yeah, I'm having some input issues here. Okay. And it says, Kong, you can be the first to know I've got it ordered, allegedly able to collect on Tuesday. That's mysterious. If you've got a problem with woods for your shop, Anna, maybe left something at your base. We're talking about Bruno Dan Ui's Still Alive SMP for Minecraft, which I do need to get back to. I've got a big project going. Alright, so... Okay, so there's the first stage that has... Let's double check the staging. Alright, our booster and our core stage all light at the same time, along with the launch clamps releasing, and then we... release our boosters, and then we've got our upper stage and our fairing, and then the lander. Okay, that should be able to do it. Moon Lander 2.0. Alright, and this should be capable for the moon and more than capable for Minmus. Let's try the moon. Let's save it, and let's double check our crew. So Eric's our pilot, we've got Lindsay as a scientist, and Natalia is the engineer. And let's see, I don't think I've unlocked the surface science yet. What have I got? Cargo, okay, I have. EVA repair kit, this is for engineers to do repairs on EVA, which is nice. Okay, and we've got this deployable science. I have never messed with this before. I think today we're going to do... Let's see, do I have room for this? Okay, so... What is this? This is a jetpack. Yeah, EVA jetpack and personal parachute. We don't need the personal parachutes. We do want the EVA jetpacks. Experiment control station. So Probodobodine experiment control station coordinates and controls both power and data from nearby deployed parts and coordinates sending it back to Kerbin. Be sure to use one if you want to generate any useful data. Okay, so we definitely need this if we want to deploy surface science. Let's give that to Eric. It exceeds what I can actually carry. So it's one or the other. Ooh. And I don't have a ladder. Okay, so we're not going to do this right now. Let's actually put a ladder on this thing. Let's do it. Utility ladder. I usually just use the jetpacks to get up, but yeah, this time we're going to do a ladder. It has to go all the way down the side. And it can't go on that. Ah, dang it, I'm running into some issues here. Do I have the deployable ladder yet? I don't. Let's wait for the deployable ladder. Let's do a traditional, old-school Kerbal science mission for now. And let's start looking at the deployable surface science next week. I've never messed with that, and that's been in the game for a little while, so that will be quite an experience, really. Oh, let's put the parachutes on a different stage. It would not do to deploy the parachutes while we're ascending from the moon. Then we wouldn't have them later. And it occurs to me also that I don't need the parachutes because we're not bringing this home. Let's get rid of them. There we go. And that gives us a little bit more delta V. Yeah, this is not intended to come home to Kerbin, so I don't need parachutes. All right, save. And enough talking, enough designing. Let's launch this thing. Okay, good. I've already got lights. Oh, let's put landing lights on the lander itself. Definitely want that. And let's do 4 of them. And point them outward just slightly. That is not outward, that is super derpy. There we go. Not quite. All right, let's place them, and then we'll use the rotate tool. That is a lot more reliable. We'll do... What the heck, man? All right, what are you doing to me, Kerbal? This is super weird. Okay. Yeah, those are offset, and that is really throwing off my eyes. Okay, but this will do it. All right, let's point them outwards just a little bit. That was really trippy. Really trippy. And clip them in just a little bit. There we go. All right. Once again, enough talking. Let's launch. Take a sip of my drink while we wait for the landing pad to load, or the launch pad to load. There we go. And, alright, we've got, looks like a sunset launch. That's a nice sunset over there. Oh cool, our flight recorder is already open. So let's put altitude, acceleration, and atmospheric pressure, or dynamic pressure on. Alright, Eric, are you ready? Let's turn on SAS, throttle up, and a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. That was a very close call. Why is that down there now? Hold, hold, hold. All right. We want it right here. All right. We're resetting the count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and launch. We have liftoff. We're starting our pitch over maneuver. Pitching down towards about 60 degrees. And vehicle is supersonic. I'm going to throttle down for maximum aerodynamic pressure. And we have max Q. Alright, we have booster separation. And throttling back up. And pitching down. Pitching down to 30 degrees. So come up on main engine cutoff. There's main engine cutoff, stage separation, and second engine start. We're going to pitch down to 15 degrees. And fairing separation. Oh, it was still on the confetti deployment. I prefer the clamshell, but that's all right. This is intense, says Anna. Yeah, this is, we're launching this. I've tested the booster, but I haven't tested it with this big a payload, so, here we go. All right, and yeah, we can see our acceleration drop as each stage event happens. That's a good-looking acceleration curve there. All right, we are pitching down to 5 degrees. All right, and we need to get an apoapsis of about 160 kilometers, so now I'm going to point prograde. And it's in Eric's hands for the moment. And we don't need this anymore. We've got our useful data out of that. Oh, I should have put flags all the way down the stage like I usually do. That's all right. We know whose ship this is. All right, I'm going to hold this attitude here. Yeah, we're coming up on apoapsis a little bit quick, so I'm gonna pitch up actually. Yeah, in fact, this is not great. Let's pitch up. All right. Yeah, we need to push our apoapsis outward. All right, yeah, our time to apoapsis is about 12 seconds, and it's still in the atmosphere, so that's not the best. Yeah, this is a heavy payload. If necessary, I can use this stage for maneuvers to the station and then refuel it there. I'd rather not, but I can do that. And you know what I just realized? I've got RCS fuel aboard, but I don't have RCS thrusters. There's always something. There's always something that you forget. So that RCS fuel is just dead weight. Rip. All right, Anna says I'm gonna have to go now. This is it's getting on a bit. Tomorrow's not my relaxing day. Got to get up 6 a.m. Very exciting happening. Okay, good. Good luck with your excitingness happening. Get some sleep. I know it's later for you where you're at. Thanks for dropping by, though. Okay, yeah, and we're pushing the apoapsis out, so yeah, we're good. Have my host and enjoy the rest of your stream. Thank you very much, and I'll see you later, hopefully on the SASMP. All right. Now we can pitch down a little bit. We averted disaster. Not the most efficient flight profile, but it is getting there. It's more late for me, says King. Yeah, well, that's relative because late for you is 5 a.m. You like to stay up all night and see how long you can make it. You go for those endurance runs. All right, this is looking a lot better. Yep, I was a little bit aggressive on the gravity turn for this heavy stage, for this heavy payload. All right, our apoapsis is now outside of the atmosphere of Kerbin. And meanwhile, my cat is begging for food. It's about treat time for him. All right. Pitching down to 0 degrees. And we are in space. All right, and I'm going to push the apoapsis to about... There we go. 160 kilometers. Our station sits at about 165 kilometers. So let's go ahead and get to that apoapsis and circularize our orbit a little bit. And then let's get an encounter with the station. Alright, I'm going to have Eric hold prograde again. Alright, and second engine burn, there we go. And now we have a stable orbit that will not fall back into Kerbin's atmosphere. Alright, let's choose our station as our target. And there is... Let's get closer to it there. We've got a 1.5 degree inclination. That's not the best, but it'll be fine. And there's our intersect. Okay, so if we... It is, that intersect is at the node though, so that's good. So if we add a maneuver at apoapsis, let's see what we can do with this. Let's add an orbit to it. 4 orbits later, and we will have a separation of only 45 kilometers. So that's actually really good. Let's see if we move this around. Oh, that won't do anything because I don't have any actual change to our orbit set up here. Let's see. So our orbit is here. If I go radial out, we should be able to pivot and get closer. Nope, that is the wrong direction. So let's go radial in. And then we actually lose our encounter. 33 kilometers. Okay. Radial in and prograde is the way to go here, it looks like. $15 kilometers. 10. 5. It looks like we've got everything we can from radial in, so no more radial in. Alright, that gets us 500 meters away from the station. And that's in 3.5 hours, so let's go ahead and time warp. And we will be catching up with the station since we are in a lower orbit. Let's see. Is that the station there? That's the ComSat. There's the station. Alright, we're 2 hours away. There we go. Don't get dizzy. Alright, 30 minutes away, so that's about 1 orbit. 20 minutes. Alright, we're 2 minutes out, and it's a 17-second burn at full thrust, so let's do stability assist, and let's point towards this here, and we might as well transfer all of this monopropellant out, since we have no ability to use it on this mission. Alright, pointing towards the maneuver here. And let's get closer. We have 640 meters per second left in this stage, so that should be enough for the encounter with the station. We might even refuel this stage so that we can use it as our transfer stage, since that's what it was intended for. Alright, and let's go ahead and start this burn. We're at about 70% thrust here. And there's our separation at approach dropping like we want it to. Alright. Low throttle for very fine control for the last bit of this burn. Okay, we're within 0.2 meters per second of the burn. And that gets us 0.8 kilometers away from the station, so that's not bad at all. Alright, let's get closer. We're coming up from underneath the station. And let's get out of map view. There we go, and look at the target. And we want to point retrograde from the target and slow down, since we're coming in pretty fast at 143 meters per second. But at least this time we are not dependent on really low power 0.1 kilonewton RCS thrusters. That had 4 of those, so that's only 0.4 kilonewtons of thrust that our other lander was working with there for that very slow burn earlier on in the stream. Alright, and let's control from that docking port. And let's get within about, right, persistent rotation. Put me back in planetary reference again rather than target. That's okay. Alright, and then we're going to go stability assist. And let's... There we go. We're coming in physics range, so it's slowed down. And let's throttle up and slow down. So we're coming in quite hot. There we go. That's a lot better. We're going to come within 400 meters and only at 17 meters per second. Let's tighten that up even more. And the farther away I am from the retrograde marker, the faster I'll push it. So there we go. And that brings us 40 meters away at closest approach. And only 5 meters per second. So let's go ahead and time warp and get there. Not too much. And we want to use another one of these these docking ports that are for the escape pods. This one here looks good. Set as target. Alright, point retrograde, and we need to kill the last bit of our speed. Yeah, we're going to be doing this without RCS thrusters, I'm realizing. Not my favorite, but it is possible. In fact, I might... No, because there's only the one docking port, so if we want to refuel this, we need to do it this way. Okay. That's how it is. Let's move this way again a little bit, and then point towards... Okay, so you're going to see some difficult maneuvering here. Let's lock the camera. Yeah, this is going to be a real challenge. And this is why you will always remember your RCS thrusters. Okay, we got just the tiniest amount of thrust going. Because we need to line up with that port and then burn towards it ever so slightly. It's a good thing this thing has decent reaction wheels. Better than our really strictly realistic. Okay. Move this way now. And speed this up. Now let's point towards it again because it's getting away from us just a little bit. And I think we're going to have time to do this docking and some fueling, and then we'll do the actual landing, I think, next week. Today is a rather busy day, but I did not want to miss this stream. I really have a lot of fun with these. Not having the RCS isn't going to be a problem for the landing. It's mostly a problem for the docking. Docking without RCS is an absolute nightmare. Okay, so this will take us... here's the target, and here's our prograde vector, so it's going to take us on this side, which is exactly what I want. So now I'm going to point retrograde and be ready to slow down. 0.8 meters per second might not sound like a lot, but for docking, that's That's practically reckless. And yeah, we are so framey here with all these parts loaded. Okay, and we are lining up nicely with that docking port. And as we come in alignment with it, I'm going to stop and then burn just a little bit gently towards the station. Whoa, 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 whoa. What was that? What was that? That ruined everything. That was my fat fingers hitting the full throttle button for a split second. Just a split second. So, oh man, Dan, why did you do that? Alright. Okay. Yeah, I said gently. I'm gonna blame Eric for that one. Eric, I thought you were my good pilot. Alright. Let's get back there. Hopefully that doesn't make anyone motion sick. It's one thing being at the controls and controlling the camera and knowing where it's going. It's quite another just watching it and being completely out of control. I know that by experience. Oh, of course. Time warp. Setting me back to planetary reference. Where are we? Yeah. There's the target. Now we have to line up again, but we have a good approach for it, so that's okay. Alright, let's slow down just a bit. Stay here. And here it comes, lining up. Gently. Low throttle, not full throttle. There we go. And now let's point directly at this docking port. And we'll line up the camera through the axis of the ship. And this is where it gets really tricky because I don't have translation control because I don't have RCS. All right. And just a nudge. And let's point this way so we can pull the prograde marker. Let's turn the thrust limiter way down. That way we get a whole lot finer control. There we go. Now we're coming in at 0.2 meters per second, which is about as fast as I'd like to go for docking. So let's go ahead and speed up the simulation just a bit. Yeah, and we're drifting just a bit. So in fact, what I can do now is just point this straight at the docking port and switch control to the station and have the station do the fine-tuned control. So we want to control from this docking port and set this docking port as our target. And we will point directly at it, and then we will turn on our RCS, and we do have attitude control and translation control here. So, and we're getting a nice refueling coming, so this will be fine. So yeah, we're actually maneuvering the station to dock with the ship rather than the other way around now. And here it comes. And this will be 3 ships docked to the station at once, which is pretty great. Alright, we need to do another correction. Since this and the incoming ship are technically in different orbits, there are always corrections to be done. Not until they're docked will they technically be in the same orbit. Let's get a screenshot of this. This is pretty cool. All right, and a little bit more adjustment. There we go, success. Yeah, I'm a pro. All right, look at that. So now what we want to do, let's open our fuel balancing window and liquid. So we've got these here. Okay, so that is, I look for the subtle blue highlight. There's that one. It's the Rocco Max ones that I want to fill up. So let's actually, these ones are full, so let's lock them. Liquid fuel and oxidizer. And so then this one here, let's go ahead and transfer in from everywhere else. And there it goes. So yeah, this is stealing fuel from our rescue ship. So refuel mission between streams is definitely in order, and we'll bring that up this way. And we're going to be leaving this behind. I could have put it on that port, I guess. I can move it later. A space tug will be something that we'll want to bring up here in the very near future. That will be extremely handy for maneuvers like that. Alright, so now we can stop transferring out. There we go. And now we've got these here, and more importantly, let's open this up and take a look at our RCS tanks that are in here. So these, what are these called? These are the Stratus V roundified monopropellant tanks. Let's go to, yeah, let's unlock these. It would be a shame to find out those are locked while we're trying to do a landing. Okay, and let's make sure that these are the ones we're looking at. And it doesn't look like it. I'm trying to look for that subtle blue highlight here. Yeah, these are the ones that are on the escape pods. So that's why it's listing Mark 1 lander can, and then so here's Mark 3 command pod, and then 8 listed here. Okay, perfect. Yep, here they are. So it's these 8. So we want to transfer out from all of these. Okay. And now we can stop. And now we have offloaded that dead weight and added functionality to this ship here and to our escape pods and our other lander. Let's go ahead and close this, and we have 10 minutes, so what we can do now is go ahead and take this to orbit of the moon and leave it on a cliffhanger there, probably, for the actual landing, which will be next week. So let's close that and undock from here. Okay, and switch control here. And I don't have the monopropellant thrusters to do a burn to get away, so let's just let it drift slowly. There we go. Now we're safely away. And let's go back to target selection, and we'll do celestial bodies. We want the moon. And let's look at our map and see where we are relative to the moon. It's there, so we want to do our burn about here. Let's see how that... no, that's not what I wanted. Set as target. Yeah, everything's taking like 2 or 3 clicks now. Okay, add maneuver, that's what I want. I'm not sure why. There were some minor Windows updates, and I wonder if those messed with anything. Alright, let's see how good an approach to the moon this is here. It's really good. Okay. Alright, so that is in 7 minutes. It's an 800 meter per second burn, and we have 1300 meters per second currently in this. Let's see. Let's bring our periapsis really low, though, because we want to be able to just kill our lateral velocity and do a very quick and efficient landing when it is time. So if I do this, that brings the periapsis down. But not as much as I'd like. So let's do this maneuver just a little bit later then. In fact, let's go here for really fine control over this. Alright. This way we will have the moon's gravity helping to slow us down. $300 kilometers. 200 kilometers. 100. Let's bring it down to about 25 kilometers. 26 kilometers. That will be really good. Okay, so that's an almost 800 meter per second burn, and it's coming up in 6 minutes, and it's a 10-minute burn. 10-minute burn, really? It's hard to believe. Okay, but let's point towards it and make sure that's not going to have us thrust straight through our station, because that would be a problem. Okay, good. We're going to be able to maneuver around the station. And is that really going to be a 5-minute burn? Maybe so with this engine. Our thrust is... what says 0? Yeah, I don't know that that's actually... actually calculating this accurately. Let's double check our staging here. Our staging is still good. Yeah, I think with the docking and undocking, that's messed with this calculation just a little bit. So let's do a little bit of the burn now and see if that changes. It does not. Okay, so yeah, our total thrust available is 31 kilonewtons. Okay. So let's go ahead and go 5 minutes away from the burn and burn full thrust. Yeah, I think this is actually accurate. Because this is, again, a heavy payload, and it's an efficient but low-powered engine. Yeah, our thrust-weight ratio is 0.18, so that's approximately how many G-forces they are experiencing here. And let's say goodbye to the station. Goodbye, station. Let's switch to map view now. Yeah, that is quite the encounter with the moon there. Alright, let's go ahead and speed this up just a little bit. And yeah, we have just enough time left for this. We go ahead and pin our apoapsis here so we can watch that increase on the map. and sit back and take a sip of my drink. I found an IPA that is brewed with juniper berries and sage, and it is quite good. I don't think I can get it here in Utah. I got this on a trip to California, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for it again next time we're out there. Alright, we're about a third of the way through the burn, and everything is looking nominal. Yeah, we would still only be about an eighth of the way through the burn on if we were doing this in actual time here. So, but our thrust weight ratio is increasing as our mass decreases, so they're experiencing almost a quarter of a G now. So a nice, gentle flight. Alright, and our apoapsis is going to rise faster and faster as it moves farther and farther away. And we've got about 1/4 of the burn left to go. And my cat is at the door saying, "Hey, how come you haven't fed me yet?" Well, I'm doing some important space flying, so... And so far, cats aren't allowed in space. Could you imagine a cat in the capsule? That would be a rough time. Let's slow the game down to regular speed for at least a little bit, so I can have finer control over the maneuvering and it doesn't just overshoot as I change attitude. Alright, just about there. We've got about a minute of burn left, so I'm going to speed the game up a little bit more again. There we go. Yeah, that's the trade-off. Low power for high efficiency here. Alright, 20 seconds left of this burn. Following the maneuver marker on the nav ball. Oh, I feel really dumb. You know why this is taking so long? Because I reduced the thrust limit on this engine. I thought that this was a more powerful engine than that. No, we're doing 12.5% of max thrust. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. All right, let's kill that. Oh, our periapsis is really close here. So... yeah, let's go ahead and warp to the sphere of influence of the moon. Almost to there. Let's go ahead and warp there. That's 1 day away. Yeah, so I had lowered the thrust limit on this engine so that we could do our very careful docking maneuver, and I didn't adjust it back up. That explains everything about what was just happening with that maneuver. Alright, let's point radial out. And let's adjust our periapsis here. That's actually not adjusting it. Let's do radial in then. So yeah, it's hard to see what this is going to be. This is a weird little squiggly because this is what the orbit, or what our flight path relative to Kerbin is going to do once we are in the gravitational influence of the moon. Relative to the moon, it's going to just look like a normal parabola. But that's a little bit closer than I'd like to be. So let's increase it to about 24. 24 kilometers is pretty good. Yeah, see, there's the parabola right there. And there is something landed there. Let's go ahead and warp to very near our periapsis, and let's change our thrust limit to maximum. And there's the engine there. Yeah, thrust limiter, maximum. Now we have 250 kilonewtons available to us. That's so much better. All right, and we want to point retrograde and slow down. That's coming up in 3 minutes, so let's speed up just a little bit, and we're on the dark side, but that's okay. All right, and here we go. Full thrust. And there's our orbit. Let's see how circular we can make it before we run out of fuel. Pretty good. Our periapsis is coming down, so I think that's going to be our landing site. And I think that's going to be where I leave it today. On another cliffhanger, I'm sorry to do that to you, but it's 4 p.m. here, and I have some things I need to attend to. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and just end. I prefer to raid. I'm going to not raid today, though. So, but thank you, everyone who joined. Thanks, Anna, for the host. King Kong for joining, Satan for dropping in briefly, Raider for being here even early. So this has been a lot of fun. We've got a lot of science and more stuff unlocked. And now that I have it unlocked, I can make some plans with it between streams off camera. And next week we will we'll finish this landing and see what new science we can obtain, and maybe even do some of the deployable service science. But that'll be it for now. This Wednesday night I'll be doing Minecraft again, and next Saturday, same time, it will be more Kerbal Space Program. And hopefully I'll see you then. Thank you for dropping by.